Right. So this is a little bit of like an unpopular opinion, but you know how in marketing, when you're working on your business, you're creating your ideal client profile, right? And you add a photo to someone, you give it a name, you give it like age, right? Demographics, psychographics, annual income, occupation, stuff like that. You know how you complete that, and you obviously consider that that's your ideal client. Well, that's by far the biggest mistake that I see coaches and consultants doing. Okay, and this is absolutely killing your business. Let me explain why. So the reason for that is because how most coaches and consultants try to grow their business, how to get into business is the wrong way because initially, right, they have an expertise. Okay, so how it goes is like, for example, let's say if they're really good at their health, and staying in shape and the fitness and stuff like that, then obviously their area of expertise is going to be around fitness, right? Health, nutrition, gut health, and stuff like that, right? All of that good stuff. Now, what they're going to do next is because they want to become coaches, right? They want to make money out of their expertise. And this is really what everyone tells you, like, make money with your expertise, make money with your knowledge and stuff like that. But that's the wrong way because, let's just go with this example. Like, you're really good at like fitness, nutrition, stuff like that. And you're telling to yourself, like, okay, look, I'm going to become a fitness coach, a health coach, and I'm going to sell my product. And, that's pretty much it. Well, that is the wrong way to go about it because you never build your, offer, you never build your business around your expertise. And maybe it sounds a little weird and it sounds like counterintuitive, but what happens next, after you establish your expertise and like, okay, you're going to say that, okay, I'm a fitness coach or whatever, I'm a health coach, right? Stuff like that. Then what you naturally get next, because this is what you're told to do, right? From the internet, then you're gonna build your ideal client avatar profile, right? Just like you see here in the picture. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna go and think like, okay, who's my best client? Like who do I want my ideal client to be? What do I want, right? What do I want my ideal client to look like? So you complete in all of these details, and I get this on calls all the time, right? Because I take a lot of calls with coaches and consultants. So I ask them like, okay, who's your ideal client? And they'll tell me they're gonna tell me about the ideal client, right? And so they're gonna tell me like, oh, they're fast on making decisions, right? They have the money to buy, they have this, they have that. So they tell me like all of the things that they're looking for in an ideal client. But the reason why this is the wrong way to build your business, your offer, and the reason why it doesn't work, and so many coaches are struggling with this, is because this does not exist in real life. So your ideal client does not really exist in real life, or at least there's not like thousands of people that are basically your ideal clients in real life. So what ends up happening is, you build your offer and your business around like an ideal client that doesn't really exist. So you're saying to yourself like, okay, I'm a health coach, I want to help people improve their health, and I want my ideal client to be like this. And then you build your whole offer, your whole business, so that you can attract this client who doesn't exist. Okay. And the problem is that, again, because you're going to build a message around an ideal client who doesn't exist, okay, what it means is that you're gonna have a hard time getting clients, okay? Because again, those people don't really exist in the market, at least like not thousands and hundreds of them, okay? So what you should be doing instead, and this is counterintuitive because as a coach and a consultant, right, you're not going to sell what you want. You're going to sell what the market wants and needs, and you're going to sell it the way they want it to. So what happened recently, right, with one of my clients is that, he was a health coach, right? Like he was a gut health expert. So he knew everything about that. And before he started working with me, he was selling himself like, okay, I'm going to become like a gut health coach, right? So he was going to like, okay, I'm going to offer gut health coaching. But obviously that didn't work because he was trying to sell his expertise the way he wanted to. But this is not how business works. You have to start with your customer first. Now, obviously, the customer wasn't really there. We didn't really have an ideal client who's actually real, right? We didn't know exactly who we were going after. So what we ended up doing is we went to the market. Okay, he had to do some research. He had to take some interviews because basically everything was off. It was like a disconnect between his offer, his business, the problem that he was actually solving, and what the market really wanted. So we went ahead, he did some market research interviews, and this is really important because you are going to create your ideal client avatar based on data and based on research and after taking hundreds and hundreds of calls. So pretty much only after you have taken like hundreds of calls, that's the only time when you're really going to know who your ideal client is. But until that point, like you just cannot create an ideal client avatar, right? So the whole purpose is that, You do not need to create a client avatar unless you've done your proper research about your offer and unless you've taken hundreds of calls. Okay. Now, after you've taken hundreds of calls, right, and you've done like your proper research, then what you need to do is you need to build the offer around that specific market and what the market needs. So as a coach and a consultant, you're not going to sell your expertise. You're going to sell what the market wants. And obviously, the best thing that you can do is to try to find a market that will need your expertise. You might need to learn some new skills on the side, right? You might need to adapt a little bit, but you're never going to sell what you're good at. You're going to sell what the market needs. So in this instance with my client, right, because he was basically calling himself like a gut health coach, right? And we didn't have like a specific market. Well, we decided to go after entrepreneurs who wanted to increase their energy level so they can be more efficient in business, more right productive during the day, and get more stuff done so they can grow their business, right? Have more time for their family and all that good stuff. But we completely shifted from him being a gut health coach to him helping business owners and entrepreneurs to grow their business. Now, the mechanism of him helping entrepreneurs and business owners to grow their business was by optimizing their gut health. Okay. So what this means is that we went from him calling himself like a gut health expert, I'm a health coach, blah, blah, blah. We shifted that to him not necessarily being a coach, but like helping entrepreneurs to increase their energy levels, to double their energy levels so they can get more done throughout the day, so they can be more productive, they can make more money essentially faster while having more time, being more focused. Okay, so making their life better. But as you can see, you're never going to sell, especially in the beginning, right? You're never going to sell the thing that you want to sell, and you're never going to sell your expertise because his expertise was in, gut health, right? This was what he wanted to do. However, we switched that and we switched to actually serving a real market, which is, again, what you want to do. Now, obviously, he still is going to help them with their gut health because in reality, okay, the problem with all of these entrepreneurs who have issues with their energy levels, right, is that their gut health is not in check. And obviously, a couple more things related to their health. But the point is that he's still going to do the things that he's good at, but the way we packaged his expertise was completely different, right? So he's not selling gut health coaching. He's selling more energy for coaches, right? So you have to switch as a coach and consultant. You have to switch from, selling your expertise and selling what you want to sell. You have to switch from that to serving a market, okay? Serving a market and actually making sure that the people that you want to target exist. And obviously this comes from market research and so on. So this is pretty much, what I wanted to cover in this video. So the wrong way to grow your business, to try to grow your business, to try to go clients, right? Try to get clients is by trying to craft like an ICP profile, ideal client profile, and just you meditating and thinking about, okay, what do I want to get? What do I want my ideal client to look like? Well, again, that's the wrong way to do it because that client might not exist in real life, or there might not be a market with hundreds and thousands of people like that. So instead, what you need to do is you need to go to the market and figure out, okay, what do people want? What do these people look like? What are their characteristics, right? What do I need to say to them to be able to sell them and stuff like that? That is what you need to do. And a lot of times, again, you're not going to sell what you want to sell. You're going to sell what the market sells. So it's a really important principle, right? It's called the market first principle, where you essentially need to go to the market. You need to find a pocket of people that you can serve based on your expertise, and you create everything for them essentially, right? It's like a custom suit, right? You need to first of all take the measurements. You need to ask the client, okay, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite whatever fabric? What's your style? What do you want your suit to look like and stuff like that? And only after they can build a suit for him. But you cannot try to think like, okay, this is going to be my ideal client because that doesn't match, right? It's just your imagination. So I guess this is the biggest takeaway. So the biggest takeaway is just do your research. Take a look at the market first and then try to build the offer for them, okay? Instead of trying to sell your expertise, okay? Because again, your offer is not going to be around your expertise. Your offer is going to be around what the client wants and like what the market needs. So yeah, this is the biggest thing that I see right now in the coaching consultant market. By the way, shameless plug, right? If you're a coach or consultant, subscribe to the channel, smash the subscribe button right now for me because I'm going to be posting more videos just like this one, uncut, raw, when I'm trying to provide value. So your business is going to grow by you watching my videos because you're going to be able to implement things. Smash the like button as well because YouTube is going to show you more videos just like this one, okay? And if you want to get more clients as a coach or consultant, guaranteed with a results first model, then click the link in the description because I have a pretty cool offer for you that I'm pretty sure you're gonna like. But anyways, it's up to you, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.